And now and then you keep hearing about struggling musicians, right? People who, for a long time in their lives, were just playing around in bars and restaurants, and very late in their lives, they got famous. Someone like this guy, Seal, the Kiss from a Rose guy. So he used to play at one, at least what I've heard, at one place constantly in like a hotel kind of thing for many years until some producer came and heard him. The same story with this chap, the Shape of You, Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, same story. Is written a lot of songs, playing around, traveling here and there, and
He got
playing around
famous
small
quite early.
places.
in his
Yeah,
own
but I
teenage
mean, he
years.
for many years he started
Okay.
writing much younger, and then he exposed his music to the world much.
But he had
like,
to. I mean, he had to really work. Yeah, really
until
work.
some guy found him, and some producer found him, and then they got together and stuff like that. So you keep listening to these stories. In fact, I would say the guys, most of the guys who are at the absolute top, absolute best musicians in the world, that that move a lot of people, except for I think maybe the pop artists, most of them have had extremely difficult lives before they became famous or whatever. Tina Turner had an I think, if I remember the story correctly, she was supposed to audition for something, or she was supposed to go for a recording, and she was just out of this huge domestic violence incident from her husband, and she just ran with her kids, escaping the whole thing, and that she had no place to stay or something like that, and she just, the next day morning, she had a recording and she had to go and she had to do it, and she never looked back since. At least that's what the legend is. I don't know the
No, it's,
exact
it's,
story.
it's true. It is. Yeah.
So, a lot of stories, if you actually go into musicians' lives, you'll hear the stories like these only. And you will see that they are very commonplace, It's not like, oh, this is a unique, this thing. But that also explains why they are at the top, because they are extremely humble people. They've had extremely humble beginnings. They have come from this struggle, desperation. It's like next day they're not even sure whether they'll live or whether they'll die. उस situation से you have faced that in your lives. Most people who we encounter don't have lives like that. They have everything set out for them. They have comfortable. Nothing wrong with it. It's just they don't know what it's like, right? So then they really work on the few things that they are really good at, and then they learn and mature in the world that they're exposed to very early. So they know, okay, these are the things that I'm good at, these are the things that are, if it's going to make me big, then I really have to work, and there is no way I'll slack and be lazy and be like nahi karna hai. And so they're always delivering, always a notch above everyone else, because they've had those beginnings.
I believe rap is pretty similar. At least if you don't look at the recent
Yeah.
few artists coming out of it, it was a
Yeah.
way of getting out of the life of a
Rap was
drug
also
dealer and
predominantly a
becoming
black movement, right? Yeah, blacks anyways have had a terrible history.
You just look at the whole, the Grammys and the Oscars and the Kennedy Center Awards and the Nobels and this. I mean, all these guys who are attending, they're all dressed in bow ties, and it's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of wealth flying around. Who's sponsoring our, all our festivals and stuff like that, right? It's all the guys with the money, and again, it's not a bad thing, because it does a couple of things. They're the guys who make the money. The musicians aren't, very clearly, so they keep the economy moving, which is fabulous, and they put some of it back into the arts, and so it lets the arts flourish, and it also then inspires other people to work hard for something, right? So in that sense, that cycle works great, but there is very much a linkage between affordability and at least consumption.
Hmm.
That for sure, not necessarily creation.
Creation तो natural है. Humans by themselves are very creative, whatever their beginnings are. I really don't think what affordability can do is maybe sharpen their tools. So what I mean is, the way I express myself can be fine tuned, can be improved upon, but the expression itself cannot really change. It will
Yeah.
come from who I am as a person, right? So I can be equipped with these tools and with these methods, techniques that I can use to express myself as best as I want it to be. Or it might be like really raw, like Robert Johnson taking one string guitar and just playing the blues, hardly tuned, voice cracking, that sort of a. But still, the expression is always there, and because it's an art form, that's what matters at the end. How emotionally vested you are.